spouse, what is it, 15,000. So a spouse is requesting 15,000. Wait, 15,000 or more, they have to fill out section 1 through 2. Well, it doesn't say if it's an individual or all together, though. That's on this part. Okay, let me go back up to the top. 150. Is that for the entire family, or is that for, well, all employees and spouses? So I guess that's for the entire family. If you're requesting more than 150,000, everybody has to fill out section 3.
Mm-hmm.
Does that make sense, Kelly, or did I just confuse you? No, that makes sense. So an employee requesting more than 50,000 has to fill out section 1 and 2. If a spouse requesting more than 15,000 has to fill out section 1 and 2. And if the entire family requests more than 150,000, everybody has to fill out section 3.
Then if you read that point that we're looking at right now, even if you elect only $10,000 of ADD, you have to fill out section 3 anyways. Because the accidental death and disability, it's a moot point. You have to do it either way.
Right.
So that's something, I mean, you know, when we get these enrollment forms back in from people, you know, you probably want to review it and make sure that, and I didn't review any, I just got the forms, sent them in. I didn't review anything, you know, because it really, it's too much, it's honestly too much for me to learn all at once. I have to do it over time. So that's why they said they'd walk us through these first enrollments. Just send the forms in, we'll help you, we'll explain it to you. Otherwise, if I try and learn something all at once, it doesn't work. That's just not how my brain works. So, but, you know, as we get these in, yeah, we definitely want to just take some time, look at them, review them, because it might just save some time. We can email the guy back and say, hey, you know, you forgot to fill this part out. They're going to ask for this anyway, so might as well save you the time rather than trying to convert the stuff into PDFs and send it over. It's, or whatever, however we have to do it. Going to be a lot easier.
And I can't remember exactly, but I remember thinking that there was basically no point in getting disability coverage because it was really kind of dumb the way they have the whole thing set up. But do you remember right off the top what she said about the disability?
Well, she said a lot of stuff. I mean, it's a pretty standard, you know, type of coverage that people get. You know, it's so cheap, but I hear what you're saying, Lori, about, you know, you don't maybe like it, but obviously enough people in this world like it that they offer it, and it's pretty popular. So I'm not trying to negate what you said, but obviously, like, it's there. I mean, people like it and enjoy it and they use it. But, you know, with disability or accidental death, what that's talking about is if she gave an analogy as you're driving down the road and you get hit and you die by, you know, you get in a car accident and it's your fault or whatever. It's accidental death. That's what that's including. Or the disability part would be, you know, you're working on your house and all of a sudden you saw off both your arms on a table saw. You know, and what's funny about the policy that if you just lose one arm, it's not covered. You have to lose an arm and a leg, or an eye and one ear of hearing. I'm serious. It is funny. That's what it is. It's, or you have to be both. If you're blind, if you become blind, your coverage, it doesn't count. If you become blind and you lose a foot, then it does count. Now it's literally that crazy. But it's so cheap that people normally get it. You know, you're only paying $5 a month for it. And if there is a major catastrophe in your life and you lose both your legs because whatever, your house gets blown away in a tornado, yeah, you know, you're going to want to have that coverage. It's going to help you out. But that's some of the dumb stuff about it. Like, you have to have these weird combinations of stuff. And we'll see that. It'll be in this plan document, but that's what it's.
So,
the reason why I'm making that the only reason why I'm making that comment at you, Lori, is because, you know, we're supposed to be using this as a stepping point to hire engineers, but if we tell them that sucks, if that's their opinion of it, you know, it's stupid coverage. Why the heck do we even have it? You know, it's kind of like we want to at least try and bring out the good point. We can mention some funny things, but we want to bring out the good points as much as we can.
Okay, so I guess we shouldn't mention anything about the disability. They can just read it on their own, but if anyone internal employees, I would tell them, okay, well, before you go to the hospital, if you lose an arm, make sure you chop off the other one.
Yeah. Well, but seriously though, I mean, all of us know people that they're missing a limb or they can't walk or something. So like, I mean, they're not totally disabled. Just because they're lost, because they lose one hand doesn't mean like they can't function anymore. And I mean, no. So I mean, I can see their argument is like, you know, are you truly disabled? You know, just because you lost an arm? Well, you can pretty much do everything else that everybody else can do. You could probably still go back to work. So I can see their argument on it. It's really to cover. This is talking about catastrophic stuff. This isn't like, you know, just your willy-nilly type things. This is catastrophic accidental death, dismemberment, and you need some money to get by. That's kind of the idea. But I think that's how we should sell it. It's not like an all-inclusive, this is the best thing in the world type thing, because it's not, obviously.
Yeah, the accidental, you know, death is, you know, really is I guess would be worth it, but the disability is just a little too much.
Right. Well, remember, it's not disability; it's dismemberment. And that's one thing she corrected us on too. It's not disability; it's dismemberment. So it's literally talking about if you get dismembered. But what I think is stupid about it is, yeah, I mean, it's not just you lose one leg; you have to lose one leg and an arm, or one leg and one eye, or be blind and lose a foot. It's not one or the other. That's pretty ridiculous.
Yeah, well, yeah, I mean, I would rather pay a couple extra bucks just to have it not be so rigorous, but, you know, obviously that's not
yeah, me too. I would just get her done.
Yeah. Okay, well, I'm sure those are like, you know, probably the biggest points is the figuring out in what intervals you're allowed to select coverage and who has to fill out which part of the underwriting and if any of the underwriting. So, which I guess all the SEI employees, you know, pretty much didn't fill out enough of the paperwork, because even Jim said the same thing, is that I think he requested, I didn't see what Jim submitted, if it was 150 per him and Lynn, or together or separate, but, you know, obviously he's going to have to fill it out, because if you know, if it's 150, they're going to still have to fill part of the disability cover or the underwriting requirements regardless.
Yeah, they filled that stuff out.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Oh, he told me that he only selected the part where he didn't have to do the underwriting part.
Oh, then he probably only selected 50,000 per person then.
Well, he told me it was 150.
Well, so I'm not sure. I could look. I have all the enrollment forms. They didn't when Unum reviewed him, they didn't have any problems with his initial application. So I don't know if they missed it or what. That's the whole idea. They said just return the applications. We'll walk you through it. And I'm like, all right, well, that's easy enough of that. That way I don't have to learn too much of this all at once. You pull them up.
Well, but that may or may not be a good idea that they didn't say anything, because what if something does happen and later on they came back and they said, oh, well, all the forms aren't properly filled out. Do you not get your insurance because all the steps weren't followed?
Well, that's the whole point of the medical review, is that they're reviewing it to make sure that everything is filled out correctly.
Right. So
because they have their guaranteed amounts. The amounts, you know, Jim gets 15,000, you know, and Lynn gets, Jim gets 50,000 automatically, and Lynn gets 50,000 automatically because they're both employees. So that's guaranteed. Any additional amounts over that have to go through medical underwriting, and at that point, if medical underwriting approves it and a form's wrong, it doesn't make a difference. It's been approved. It's over and done with. But medical underwriting they're going to be able to determine whether or not a form's filled out properly or not, because they'll either approve it based on that form or they deny it. based on that form.
Okay. Well, was there anything else that you wanted to go over?
Not on that thing that you're sharing, no. I think it was good to see that, though, because I didn't see that initially.
Okay. Who do I send it back to, Kelly?
Why not?
Did it do it? Oh, yeah.
Yeah, Lynn only signed up for 50,000, so that's as much as she could get, and that's what Jim signed up for. So I don't know if there was maybe he was just confused about, or maybe you guys were talking about two different things there.
No, I guess maybe he said 150, but he was only signing up for 100.
Yeah, I think Lynn got 50, and then I'm not so sure about what Jim, actually, that wasn't Jim's, that was Lynn's. I could, beneficial, that's a beneficiary form. Yeah, Jim signed up for 50,000 as well. He originally had a different number in there. Maybe he had 75 in there, but he changed it to 50, I think. Yeah, they're all there.
Oh, yeah, so that's right.
He must have stopped and took time to read it, because that's confusing. You got it right, so that's good.
Yeah, because he certainly didn't want to get underwriting involved, especially with my mom's epilepsy and stuff, so.
Yeah, that took care of it, apparently. So, Kelly, I think you got to reshare your screen again. You can see why it's good that we're taking time to go over all this stuff, because, I mean, it's a lot of work for HR. Luckily, it doesn't seem to change that much. So once we learn this stuff, it's not like we have to, like, learn all this new stuff every year. And it's not that we're going to remember all this stuff, but, you should be able to refer back to this policy document and be able to answer any questions. If someone asks you a question, Kelly, after doing this for a month or two, you should be able to answer it yourself. You shouldn't have to, talk to one of us. And that's not because we're not here for you or vice versa, that, you're not here for me if I have a question, but it's just so we all know it, that we're all trained in on it. And this is the same policy document, and someone should make a note of this, Kelly, I guess you, but we need to send this policy document out to everybody. Now, I think I might have done this already to the internal employees. I don't know, you need to check on that, but whoever signs up for this, they need to have a copy of this policy emailed to them at minimum. And we should put it on the SharePoint server too, under benefits probably.
Okay, wait, so one other quick question. So if Jim and Lynn sign up for 50, does that mean they signed up for $50,000 more than what the company has already given them?
Yes. So they have 50. Everybody who is an employee gets $50,000 that's paid for by the company, and then Jim and Lynn elected to have $50,000 each additional insurance. So both of them have $100,000 total between the two policies. Okay, and then this next session talks about kids. Basically, the maximum amount is $10,000 for a kid. That's as much as you can elect. That's all I was going to cover in those few pages. Did you guys have any other questions on that stuff? I think we're good. Okay, this next thing is benefits at a glance. This is the accidental death and dismemberment insurance plan. So this will talk about, if you scroll down a little bit more, I'll probably talk about the same amounts here as far as, keep going here. Yeah, you pay for the coverage because it's optional, it's additional. Let's go to the next page. Here you go. Here's the amounts. You can have amounts of $10,000 benefit units at a time. They do the same thing to reduce the benefits as you get older. What's the maximum benefit amount? Scroll down just a little further here. Oh, same thing. 5 times your annual earnings, or $5,000 or $500,000. The same for the spouse. $5,000 benefit units. Hey, same thing for children. Maximum of $10,000. I'm guessing. Yep. I have no idea what that repatriation benefit is. Never heard of that. I'm not too worried about it though. Seat belt and airbag benefit. That must be a, oh, that's a maximum benefit payment, so it's talking about some type of, I'm sure it's explained later in the policy. Maybe if those injure you or you get accidental death because of a seat belt or an airbag, or you get dismembered because of something like that, could be. Or maybe it's talking about if you were not wearing your seat belt or something like that. I don't, we'll find out. We'll have to read it. There's an education benefit. I don't know what that is. Maybe if your kid's in school and they get death or dismembered and they can't go to school anymore and you have to pay these tuitions that you already paid for, they'll help you, give you some money, it looks like, to pay off the tuition. I don't know. I'll have to figure it out. You guys know anything about those or heard of those before, those 2 other benefits? Yeah. Education, deprivation, airbag seatbelt.
Yeah, they consider seatbelt being suicide. Well, a lot of insurance companies do.
Yeah, so maybe we're saying the maximum benefit if you're not wearing your seatbelt is $5,000. That could be. We'll have to read through it, but yeah, I would agree with them. You're pretty much stupid not to wear a seatbelt.
So do you want to go down?
It makes about as much sense as praying for a football game. I mean, come on. How can you pray and believe God to protect you when you're going out in a football field getting tackled by a 300-pound lineman? It doesn't work. You can't. I mean, what? Are you stupid? That's my big beef these days. It just doesn't work. That'd be just like asking God to protect me from, while I'm driving, but I refuse to wear my seatbelt and I steer with my knee and put on makeup with my hand. I mean, come on, you've got to participate somewhat. Anyways, I'll get off my my soapbox here. Portability. Okay, we'll talk about that later on. So that gives us a good overview. Let's see if there's anything else in the 53 pages we have left here. Claim information. We're not going to remember all this. I think this is just saying that you have to do a claim no later than 90 days after you die.
What the? Oh, wait. The lady was oh, when she was explaining the children's thing, she didn't explain it properly. She said it was $10,000 total for the kids, which is true. But if you're 14 days old, you only get $1,000. If you're 6 months old, you only get $1,000. And then if you're 6 months to 19 or to age 26, then you actually can get the full $10,000.
Yeah. Well, I think she gave us the abridged version.
Right. What's the repatriation benefit for your dependent?
I don't know. I'm sure it's going to be explained in the rest of this thing, but I don't know. I'm waiting to see what the rest of this policy documents, what they say on it, because I hadn't heard of it before.
Seatbelts, what's 10% of the full amount? So does that mean if you don't have your seatbelt, you only get 10% of the full amount?
Yeah, well, we're going to read and figure it out. because those 2 pages were just basically doing a summary, but in the rest of these I mean, there's another 50 some pages to go through, so I'm sure it'll be in here, and we'll look at that. So it's talking about what kind of information you need to file a claim. So if people are wondering, or let's say, you know, Gabby Van Tassel calls up Kelly and says, oh, you know, Eric died. You know, I need to figure out how do I, you know, apply to get that insurance. Well, Kelly could say, I have no idea, but you know what? Let's look at the plan document together, and I'm sure the two of us can figure it out. Because I remember, you know, it's in there somewhere. You know, that's what I'm trying to get a general overview, not so you know, like, oh, you just know off the top of your hand. You have to have all this stuff. I don't know. I think I'm good on this page. You guys have anything else you want to look on page 10?
What's that noise? Does anyone else hear it?
No.
Okay, see, it seems like you have 90 days to submit your claim, but basically I would get it in like as soon as possible because you never know what kind of extra stipulations they're going to be. So.
Yeah, obviously, yep.
Okay, nope, I'm good.
This is interesting, or not interesting, but it's a note. How do you designate or change a beneficiary? So the beneficiary is obviously the people that are going to get the money when you die or get dismembered or lose an eye and a leg, but not just an eye or not just a leg. The employer keeps those. We don't send them into Unum, and Unum doesn't need them. So we just keep them on file. So obviously it should be in the SharePoint server. And then if they want to change your beneficiary, you know, you just tell them that, you know, here's a new form, fill it out. You don't have to send it in the Unum or anything. So just make sure that we definitely want to hang on to those because that'd be, and keep them all in one place. So the easiest place to do that would obviously be on the SharePoint server in their file folder, so we know. And you know, once we've got to hire another guy in India too. We got to get Vikas going full time. But I would say in the next year, 2 years, our online system's going to rock because we're going to have all this stuff built in. It's going to be so much easier than what we're doing now. So, all right, keep scrolling down here. I think that's pretty much all I want to talk about on the benefit. If you guys see stuff too that you want to talk about, just let me know.
How will Unum make payments if you or your dependent's life claim is at least $10,000? Unum will make available to the beneficiary in a retained asset account. Payment for the life I can't read all of that claim may be accessed by writing a grant to a single sum or address in smaller sums.
So it sounds like they just give you a bank account. And, you know, you can either take all the money out in one check or you can do it in a couple of different ones.
But you have to ask permission, apparently, to get it out. Payment for the claim may be accessed by writing a grant in a single sum or address in smaller sums. Oh. Okay, maybe, yeah.
Yeah, so it sounds like, right, you just have to, they're set aside for you. So maybe it's not a bank account, but it's a retained asset account in that it's in your name, and right, you just have to formally request it. That makes sense. So they're not going to give you a debit card, basically. I don't have any questions about that stuff there.
Mm-mm.
You're going at a good pace, Kelly. Keep it up. It's a lot of crap to go through here. Accidental death and dismemberment insurance. Okay, how do you do a claim? Same idea, 90 days. So again, it's not that we have to have this memorized, but we can say, I don't know, but it should be in the policy document, and then you can kind of look it up with them.
It's going.
Okay, that's all the same. This is all the same stuff.
Yeah.
Payments are the same. Seriously, if I didn't do this with you two of you, I would never read this ever. I mean, I have to like force myself because I hate reading this stuff. There's a premium waiver. Unum does not require premium payments for an insured employee's life coverage if he or she is under age 60 and disabled for 9 months. I think what that's talking about is if you are disabled and you've been under the company's plan, you still have life insurance, and you're still an employee but you've been disabled 9 months, then you still get the insurance but you don't have to pay for it. Something like that, where you still get to have the insurance, but because you're disabled and you can't work, you don't have to make the the monthly premiums. I don't know if we're ever gonna have a situation like that, but if that ever did happen to somebody, that's something we could look into. Anyways, nothing really important to bring out there. And so that little provision above there, where if you scroll up just a click or two, clerical errors or omission by Unum will not prevent an employee from receiving coverage, affect the amount of an insurer's coverage, or cause an employee's coverage to begin or continue, and the coverage would not otherwise be effective. So that kind of answers your question as far as if we make a mistake, but then we submit it to Unum and because they reviewed it incorrectly, then we're cool. But if we're going to be entering these online and we make a mistake, well then technically it's on our end because we're making the error online. But it's we haven't even done that online yet, so we'll kind of do that all together when it comes up.
So does that mean that if we have less than 10 employees on there, they can cancel it at any time?
Technically, yeah. Nothing important on that page. certificate section. Okay, whatever. And nothing fancy there, I don't think.
Are you guys still reading that?
No, go ahead. I'm just skimming through it. All right, so this is, I think, going to talk more in detail. Hopefully we're going to find out, you know, the stuff about the car accident or seatbelt and all that other junk. Yeah, you can keep going through that. And we'll just do like one meeting of this a week or something, because, you know, I had other stuff to go through, but we can't possibly do it all at one time. My brain's going to explode. Yeah, so it's talking about you can't change it unless you have some type of change in eligibility or annual enrollment. That's pretty normal, so nothing new. That's going to be the same thing, so nothing there. And scroll up for just one second, that last thing there. Say if you're a temporary layoff and if premium is paid, you'll be covered through the end of the month. Okay, so apparently somehow you still have to pay it. I wonder, interesting. I don't know how that works. Yeah, keep scrolling through here. Nothing too specific. Look. That's all the same as the other stuff too. Good, we're getting through these pages. That's all baloney, yeah. That's all the same thing too. 12:01 a.m. the next day.
Huh.
Yeah, all that stuff is probably never going to come up, so I'm not worried about that stuff. Benefit information. Well, I'm almost half done with this document, so that's good. That's just talking about if you get disabled and how to do that and still get covered under life and accidental death, but you can't pay for it. So that's kind of goes on how to do it, but nothing you need to really know of. I'll scroll up for a minute. Go to the top of that page. I want to check one thing here. Limited conversion is available if the summary benefits. Oh, that's not much at all. Huh? Okay, that's nothing I was worried about. That's interesting. So if you're diagnosed with brain cancer and you have 6 months to live, it's possible that they'll give you a portion of that ahead of time. Only 30 pages to go. You guys having fun?
Mhm. I think we should stop because I'm not even gonna remember the rest of it. Like, I'm tired.
No, yeah, I mean, it's not so much that we remember it. It's just that, you know, if we're skimming through things and we find something interesting to note, we can remind ourselves, oh yeah, that's in the plan document. So this is one that's interesting. It says what losses are not covered. Suicide that occurs within 24 months. So if you get coverage and then they die with it, well, go ahead.
If you commit suicide after 2 years, it'll be covered. What was that saying?
Mm-hmm. So I know you're excited about that, Kelly, but you got to wait another couple years and take care of that. So I know you're thinking that, boy, if that school break lasted any longer, you probably did want to commit suicide. Being at home with the kids all day, it'd drive me nuts.
Do you still want to look at that?
Yeah, just to get through it. I think we should just kind of, oh, no, I didn't need to look at that anymore. No, I'm just saying, let's just get through this thing, be done with it, and then just so we can have a mental note of what, you know, just what's in this thing.
Okay.
A portable insurance coverage will be the current coverage of whatever that means. You guys know what portable insurance is?
Mm-mm.
That means if you leave the company or you get fired and you have this individual insurance, you can actually keep that and take it into your next job or just pay for it on your own.
And your rates don't change unless you have, unless you've encountered an illness, which I can't remember what the word that lady used. It's not all illnesses, it's only some.
Yeah, you have to complete another evidence of insurability form if that happens. So let's say Kelly says, I hate my job, I quit, but you still want to keep your additional life insurance. You could call Unum and say, hey, I want to keep this stuff. And then they'd say, okay, well, we need to make sure you're not, like, sicker than a dog or that you're not terminally ill or something. Because a lot of times, you know, think of it from the insurance perspective, a lot of times you quit your job because you are terminally ill or something like that. So they're trying to protect their assets as much as they can.
What she said that they don't deny you, but your rates will change if you're terminally ill.
Right. Right. Yep. That's a big possibility. So it's not great. So that's nothing fancy. Here's how you apply. Here's the date you have to apply for it. Blah, blah, blah. I just want to see where it talks about that seatbelt stuff. Applying for increases or decreases in portable. Nothing there. I'm not worried about that. But if we ever have somebody that says they want to keep their insurance, we know that it's in here and we can tell them, all right, it starts on page 38 or something. Remember, may change premium rates for portable coverage. That's exactly what Lori just said. Accidental death and dismemberment. Okay, that's pretty much the same as what we're looking at on the other stuff. What documents do you need? Here we go. Check this out. Here's the covered losses. If you lose both hands or feet or sight of both eyes. So if you just lose sight in one eye, it doesn't count as dismembered. If you lose one hand, but that's it, then it doesn't count. But if you use both hands or both feet, it counts. And you notice it's one hand or one foot, one hand and sight of one eye, or one foot, and scroll down a little bit more, yeah. 1 foot and sight of one eye. If you lose your speech and hearing, but you can still see, then you're technically disabled. But then if you only lose sight in one eye, you get half the amount. You know, you can see. Thumb and index finger of same hand, you get 1/4. So, I mean, it's pretty intense.
Oh, I don't know if you noticed on the portable coverage, it says that, like, let's just say, you know, I sign up for coverage for myself, my kids, Carlos. If I die, and they want to continue with the insurance that's still left on the policy, they have to apply for. They have to fill out the portable insurance thing. So they have to. Well, what's the exact wording that they use? They have to fill out the form within 30 days in order for them to continue getting the coverage. Does that make sense?
Oh, yeah. Can you imagine that? I mean, 30 days and Lori's dead, and in those 30 days, like that's something that your family would have to do. I mean, sign all this paperwork. I mean, that's almost like too much. I mean, how can you expect someone to do all that in 30 days? I don't know. I couldn't. That's the last thing on my mind would be like, well, I want to keep the insurance going. But I guess if you had life insurance and your spouse dies, you know, you're probably going to be thinking about that insurance pretty darn quick. So maybe it's possible. I don't know. Anyways, continue with the scrolling. This stuff is kind of the exact same definitions that was when I was talking about the life insurance part. Now it's just talking about the stuff with the accidental death and dismemberment. Oh, here we go. Seatbelts.
If you lose only 2 fingers, you only get 1/4 of the amount. Well, I don't know what would be worse. Poke one of your one of your eyes out. Sight of one eye, you get the full amount. Sight of one eye.
Are you looking at that document on your own?
I think so.
So you haven't. So you're not following along with where Kelly and I are at?
Oh no, I've been following along the whole time. I just went back to that part.
Oh, okay, gotcha. Just for extra giggles, huh?
Yeah, just to get extra chuckles.
Plenty of them. They define a car as a private passenger car. So if you're riding in like a U-Haul truck, that doesn't count. If you're riding like somebody's company car, that doesn't count.
What do you mean, like if you're not wearing a seatbelt, like in a U-Haul or a company car, it doesn't count?
I'm not sure. It's talking about there's an additional amount paid out, I think. Scroll up just a little bit. This is the top of the heading. Anyone will pay you an additional benefit
if you're wearing your seatbelt. Right?
Yes. Yep.
I thought it said somewhere in there, like for kids, they have to be in the right car seat for their weight and everything in order to get it, and you have to have like proof of that too.
Yeah, I'm sure that's the case.
Well, yeah, because it says that properly fastened, certified car. An appropriate seat for the child's age.
No benefit is paid to you if they don't have a driver's license.
If they don't have a driver's license?
Yeah, so if like your boyfriend's sister, I'm trying to think of some weird scenario, like your sister's boyfriend is driving and you're a passenger, and then he doesn't have a driver's license, then you're in trouble.
So whether you wear your seatbelt or not, if the person driving doesn't have a license, you just don't get it.
Yeah, I don't think you get the extra amount, is what it's talking about.
Yeah. Well, what's the extra amount?
It was defined at the top of the page.
Oh, it was? I don't see it. It was at the top?
Or it was on that very first page that we looked at, not the first page. That first section, it's like it was $25,000 for airbag or seatbelt, and $5,000 for the other, one of the two. It's on one of those front pages we looked at.
Oh wait, it says 10%. Oh, so that's what that means. So you get 10% extra if you're wearing a seatbelt, and you get 5% extra for your airbag deploying. Is that what that meant?
Could be.
Here's the thing about the education benefit. What's the education benefit?
I have no idea. That'd be a good question to ask. I read it and that didn't make any sense to me. Continues to be enrolled in school. I don't know. If you guys are, it's probably something that just doesn't come up that often. So, I mean, if somebody has a question about
Has
that,
left the conference.
uh-oh.
Who was that, Kelly?
Yeah, I'm sure she'll be back in a second, though. That's weird.
Are you still on here?
Yeah.
Oh.
Has joined the conference.
Sorry, I don't know what happened.
Hey! How's it feel to be back?
Has left the conference.
Kelly?
That's funny. I wonder if it's their internet connection over there. I'm guessing that's what it is. Well, while she's logging back on, I'm going to use the bathroom. Hold on a second.
Has joined the conference.
Wow, I don't know what keeps... Are you still there? Mhm. Oh, Vinny just went to the bathroom real quick. Oh. It's been like so distracting the past 3 weeks because they've been redoing the roof and painting the whole building, and then the landscapers have been out, and then like kids. It's been pretty noisy.
All right, should we finish this stuff up?
Mhm. Yeah. So what's not covered?
I think you guys can make that decision if you want to go on.
Yeah, because this is in the first packet, so we've already read this. Okay.
Yeah, it is. You're right.
Excuse me.
Come on, 20 pages. That's all we got. Zip through it.
Oh, this is talking about the portable one.
Yep, I'm sure it's pretty much the same, but they have to have it in writing somewhere.
So the amount greater, like anything greater than what FDI pays for is considered portable insurance, right? And that's what we should keep.
Say that again?
The portable insurance is the amount over the $50,000 that the company pays for, right?
Yeah, yep.
What we should keep. Okay.
Yeah, because that $50,000 that the company pays for is, you know, not going to be portable since it's a company plan.
Oh, we're down to the glossary.
What's that?
This is the glossary now.
Oh, keep going and scroll through it. I think we'll probably just keep on scrolling through, I think, really fast. I don't think, yeah, this is talking about accredited schools. Yeah. Blah, blah, blah. It's just defining all the terms.
Oh, at or above the ankle joint.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it tells you where it's considered your foot cut off.
Oh, that is ridiculous.
Oh, loss of hand means that all four
Yeah,
fingers
because you guys
cut
know
off.
if you lose your foot below the ankle, you can still use it. I mean, that is just dumb. Unbelievable.
Your fingers have to be cut off above the knuckles.
Wow.
Oh, wait, here's a private passenger car. Wait, stop. Means four-wheeled private passenger, including employer-owned cars, station wagons, jeeps, pickup trucks, vans that are... Go, Michaela, you guys need to go take a shower and change your clothes. No. Get in there. Okay. You want to read that? No, go down.
Okay, blah, blah, blah. We can all give ourselves a big pat on the back. And I'll set up another meeting for like next Tuesday or something, and we'll go over kind of some of there's a bunch of other Unum stuff to go over too.
Apágale luz.
And Kelly, can you check to make sure that I thought I sent this out to all the employees enrolled,
What, this?
but maybe you just want to double check. Yeah. Did you not? Maybe I never did.
No, I don't know. Well, if we don't have it, I don't think they did. Well, no, that's not true.
Yeah, because I would have sent it in a separate email. So go ahead and Kelly and save this like to your desktop, and then look at that email that you just got this from, and that I just forwarded you before we started. And there's a spreadsheet in there that says employee whatever that spreadsheet is, and then that shows that's a list of all people that enrolled. And make sure you send this to all those people saying, hey, keep this is for your records. This is how you whatever. It's just the life insurance and AD&D insurance plan documents. Okay, well, I'll set up another meeting for next week. We'll go over more Unum stuff, and then, we'll talk more about open enrollments, too. I mean, obviously, my brain's just done after an hour and a half of looking at this thing, so I need to eat and take a break before I get crabby.
Okay.
All right, see you guys next time.
Okay. All right,
Bye.
Has left the conference. Has left the conference.